Hey, what's up everyone? Rinku here, and I'm not gonna do the usual intro because I'm just absolutely awestruck at the fact that as you can see at the Premium Bushiroad event this past Sunday, I was able to get second place. And I first off want to start this video by saying shout outs to Kevin Ajolt. Dude, you are freaking awesome. I loved playing against you. It doesn't matter if I lost. You definitely deserve the win. You definitely deserve to go to Japan. And I really am looking forward to seeing you represent us and represent the community in the tournament to come. And shout outs to the rest of the top 8. You guys are awesome. I had a lot of great games. My first opponent in top 8, he was an amazing person. He was so nice. And my opponent in top 4, she was awesome. Very patient with me. I was just as nervous as she was. Shout outs to Living Proof. It's always good to see you too. And, as always, man, you're awesome. So, the main point of this video is not to sport this too much. The main point of the video is to showcase what I was using that brought me to where I am right now. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are going to assume, oh, well, it's cancer. While that possibly may be true, I don't think that many of the players were piloting this deck the way I was. Now, before I get into the deck profile, I want to mention a couple things and some, I guess, tidbits of advice that I could give anybody playing this exact deck. Seeing as the tournament was filled with just about the exact same deck that I'm going to show you guys today, one of the most important things when playing the mirror match is going to be how you stack your triggers and how you stack your deck. And I'll get into a little more of that after the profile. But we're going to start off the profile. And for the tournament, I played OTT Gize. Start off with the grade 3s. 4 Imperial Daughter. In my personal opinion, she's the linchpin of the deck. She's what makes the deck go around. Whether you go first or second, she can even allow comebacks when you're great stock. I've had a couple games where I was kind of stuck and I couldn't stride, or I would be able to stride, but I would have to discard 2 or more cards in hand. She helps out with fixing that. Almost every time I looked at the top 2 cards in my deck, there was usually a trigger and or a stride enabler. So, yeah, or something to stride with. So, if you're going to play any kind of OTT Gize variant, you absolutely want to play 4 Imperial Daughters. I'm not even going to say that's a personal opinion. It's something that you have to do. She just makes the deck go round. And then the secondary grade 3 is for CEO Amaterasu from the V series. Let me tell you, going first, this card's actually not that bad. But most of my games throughout the entire tournament, I ended up going like second, which was a little uneasy for me, but as I got used to going first or going second, or whatever the case may be, going second felt a little more comfortable for me. So it's just a matter of what you choose to do. I mean, a lot of the times you won't have your Imperial to ride, and if you have the CEO, you might as well ride it, because if you're going first, it's a free counter for the mark, and you get a free draw. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do to make your opponent want to attack you. Grade 2s now. I played one of the Goddess of Insight. To be honest with you, she didn't really do anything for me. I never called to the rear guard. And most of the time I rode her or kept her in hand, or she was just in deck or drop zone or used her as guard. Other than that, I never really played her to the rear guard. So, pending changes might come to that. And then the second overall reason why this deck is insane is Weather Girl Shake. I'm really glad that GBT 12 gave us this card, because this card pretty much is another enabler for this deck. I just, there's really nothing else I can say about it. It's so ridiculously like helpful. And then obviously 4 Yellow Witch Mei, or as I like to say, meme. I mean, yeah, I wrote her, but I also called her the rear guard. Every time I called her, she always helped. If you're playing a Gize variant for OTT, there's no reason you shouldn't be playing these. Unless you want to take the deck another route. You know, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you want to compete in a competitive environment and you want to guarantee to hit your triggers, or a guarantee to try to fix your rides, or just, you know, legally stack your deck in general, my advice to you is to play 4 Mei. She's so freaking good. And then the one spicy tech that actually won me like 2 games, the one Silent Tom. Now, I'll be honest with everybody. I played against so many OTT Gize matchups. Every OTT deck I played against was Gize variant. I'm going to be honest with you. This card doesn't really do anything against them. But what it is a pressure mechanism. If they see this in a drive check, or they see it in a damage check, and they don't really know your deck build, they're going to automatically put their mindset to, alright, well, he can kill me, or try to kill me with Ichitam at any given point. The whole purpose of this deck is not to kill you with Ichitam. This card is specifically in here, in my personal opinion, to give my opponent that scare factor, to throw them off of their game, so that way they're not thinking so clearly, and then they end up making a mistake, and I can try to capitalize. But it's mainly it's mainly just for a threat mechanism. And then going to the grade 1s, we played 4 Farfel Magus. Staple in the deck. Staple. There's literally nothing else I can say. Same stuff that I said about this one, same thing about Mei. And then 2 Battle Sister Coco. In all of my time of playing this card game, especially when this card came out in BTO 1, I've watched a lot of people play. I didn't start until BTO 6. Little history on that. There were a lot of times where I kept telling everybody, cards like this that help a mechanic, like Vanguard has, is insane. Anything that illegally allows you to stack your deck for a different mechanism or an enabler or a mechanic is insane in my opinion. And feel free to comment on the video and try and explain to me why you would think it isn't, or your own different opinions about how you think it would be. But this card is MVP of the weekend. MVP. There's so many times where I just look at top card, oh, draw, leave it there. And then my opponent's just like, all right, well, it's probably nothing. He's probably bluffing me, swing out. All right, draw a trigger. You know. Then they swing out again. All right, another trigger. And then by the time they're done, I got 3 triggers already, and I'm like not even that much far away from getting to what I gotta do. Second to last of the grade 1s, I played 2 of the protecting deity. Hold on, the higher deity protecting official. Sorry, it's a really long name. I even had a tough time writing it in the deck list on the weekend. I actually won 2 games because of this card. Sitting on Gize, you might run out of perfect guards, but then this is like, all right, well, I'll just get it back. And you don't ever use your counterblast for anything. You don't need to. you don't ever do after you get Gize, so it doesn't matter. And then the one face down card is a 3rd Stride Enabler. I was doing some tweaking and I figured out like a couple problems with my build, and I believe I can make it even more consistent. So I had 3 of the Stride Enabler in here. I'm going to be bumping it down to 2. Because while having the enabling to Stride is alright, I usually draw all my grade 3s because I'm OTT. I draw a crap ton of cards. So this is the actual change that has happened. I put some more spiciness inside of the deck, and I will let you guys know what I did to it after I completely figure out all the ins and outs of the changes. I'm not going to take this deck anywhere until I figure everything out. And then the final grade 1 is the Shooting Hobby. This card was actually really good. Really good. To me, this is a trigger. Just 15k with no effect. This card is so good. I did not expect the V-Series to have so many good cards. And then we're going to go to the grade zeros. So normally some like to start with the 0 first for the starter, but I'm doing things a little different. The Neon Gizeh, and then it flips over into the Dragon Deity of Destruction. I actually had a game where my opponent ended up going to Gizeh before I did, but then I already had 5 Zeroths that same turn. So I went into Gizeh the turn after, and as soon as my opponent ended his turn, I asked him, how many cards are left in your deck? I counted mine. Mine was about roughly 25. He had about 17 cards left in his deck. So my opponent seemed like he had a real confident look about him. And the idea, I wasn't upset about it. I didn't say anything. I was like, all right, pass turn. I didn't even bother attacking. I was just like, pass turn. So he draws, and he's like, take 5 damage. I'm like, I don't take damage. I'm Gizeh. I'm unaffected. And my opponent's like, I'm pretty sure it hits your Vanguard because it's affecting the player. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It affects the Vanguard. In order to do damage with the effect, you have to affect the Vanguard. If I'm unaffected by it, it means you can't do it. So he didn't know that. So then he took about 2 minutes on his turn trying to figure out what he could do. I'm like, I explained it to him. I told him in a very, 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 very sportsman way that we can play it out, but it's literally going to be a draw go. You can attack if you want. I'm never going to. You can attack if you want, but it's going to result in you decking out faster. And all I have to do is 5k no pass you. I just need to literally guard with 1 card, and you can never hit me. So if you would like to just, I don't know what you want to do. And he sat there for another minute, and he was like, you know what, you're right. There's no point to waste time. You got the win. So now I beat every single Gizeh matchup that I went against. I did not lose against a single Gizeh matchup. My only loss during the entire tournament was a Royal Paladin player. And it was kind of a mistake on both mine and his part, because one of us wasn't clear on what our effects were, and the other one didn't really hear them, seeing as you're surrounded by a bunch of people and you can't really hear anything. And if you're talking to a person with a low voice, it doesn't really help. So for the triggers, for the Sphere Magus, nothing really to say about it. It's a vanilla trigger, 20k shield. I played 4 crits, 2 Nike, and 2 Psychic Bird. They're in here for the 15k shield. However, there was a couple times where I double crit someone when they no guarded at 0 damage, and that put them to 3, and that's kill range for me right there. I would not change the triggers. I would not change the crits at all. The crits would automatically remain in there. And then I played a total of 8 draws. 2 of the Perfect Guard draws. 4 Miracle Kids. And yeah, I have 4Ks in here, but I'm going to tell you right now, I never ever call them to the rear guard. They're always in my hand to guard with, all the time. There's no point for me to put them in the soul to give 3k to a unit, because I do not want to attack my opponent with front rows. Because then they can start denying me of damage, and then I won't be able to do my checks. So that would completely eliminate the purpose of looking at the top card of your deck and putting it on the top and bottom. There was actually a couple of Gizeh players that I did the same thing to. They would, ride their Coco, put the top card of their deck face down back on top of the deck, and they pass. I just like draw, ride, pass. You don't get a trigger. Now you're another turn ahead. Now you're another turn behind. So then you're gonna ride to grade 2, then you're gonna try to rush me, and then I'm gonna get the triggers before you do. That's pretty much what happened, like every time. Now for the G zone. I'll just start off with the staples. We got the Zeroth Dragons. I played the Stark, the Ultima, and the Megiddo, the Drachma, and the Zoa. These are pretty much my favorite ones. Surprisingly enough, I'm not really too big of a fan of Dust. I don't like playing Dust in the Gize deck. I don't know why, it's just like that. Then for the regular shreds, one of the spiritual deities. This card's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good first stride, second stride, whatever stride. This card, I do not care about Kashima 90% of the time. If I can G-Guard and go into this, I don't care. This card is insane. I'm actually considering bumping this up to more. This card is just nuts. I did not realize how good this card was until this past weekend. And then I played 4 Kishimas. Some builds play 2, some builds play 3. I opted for 4 just so that way there I have another outlet to draw. There were a couple times, especially in the finals, between me and a Jolt. And that should be up in the next couple days. You will see that there was a time where I could have strode into this and did a couple other plays that would have possibly benefited me. But I'll be honest with you, at the time I was just so awestruck and I was having such a good time and enjoying the company of my opponent that I was not thinking clearly, and that is 100% my fault. It is no one else's fault but my own. So I just wanted to clear that up. A lot of people brought that to my attention, and I let them know that I wasn't thinking. And then for the G-Guards, 2 of the Amaterasu G-Guard, I was thinking about bumping this up to 3 just because, you know, it's another stacker. And then 2 Bravos. I used this card like maybe once or twice during the whole tournament. Other than that, it was just flip fodder. I really didn't. I really wasn't too worried about it. But overall, the tournament was awesome. Shout outs to the head judge. You are the man too. Shout outs to all the bushiroad staff that was there. You guys were great. You did a really good job running the event. It went smoothly. You know, shout outs to Joker. She was there with me, supporting me. You know, honestly, if I didn't have the friends that were there supporting me, I don't think I would have been able to do as well as I did. Shout outs to my boy Kai. You are awesome. Thank you very much for being able to get me the tools that I needed to get to the event and to do well. And also, congratulations, my brother, on getting second place in the Buddy Fight event. You are a beast. If what happened didn't happen that you told me about in the car ride home, I'm 100% sure you would have won the whole tournament. So, you know, and shout outs to the winner. I believe it's Mike Franquette. Forgive me if I got the name wrong. Congratulations to you, man. You too. You're an awesome dude. I really like you. You're awesome. I definitely look forward to seeing you at more events. I do want to, however, make a very special shout out to both Mike and the third place winner of the card fight tournament. You two inspired me to build this deck. I watched you guys the whole time at the ARG Nats. Even though I wasn't in the top 8 with you guys and higher, after I was done with my matches, I would always walk by and, you know, kind of scope out a little bit from a distance, like what your plays were. Not to beat you guys, but to understand how the deck works. And once I got a decent grasp about it, I watched the videos of you guys playing a little bit, did more studying, and I kind of derived the build that I have from a culmination of both of your builds. And I want to thank you guys so much for competing and using that deck, because you guys gave me the opportunity to do well in this game. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do, one of my dreams, was get second place or even top 4 in a major event for one of my favorite card games. And I finally have done that. And the other thing was to go to Japan. And now I have the opportunity to do so. So in the next coming months, I'm going to be working very, very hard to make that dream follow through. So, Jolt, I will see you in Japan. And thank you, everyone, for continuing to support Danshiguard. I really hope you guys are going to enjoy the next few videos that we have, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be awesome. We will even have some gameplay for Standard for you guys coming up quite soon. So with that being said, thank you very much. And thank you very much, Justin, for being willing to hit me up and put me on your channel. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the other side.